Ahead on the Griffon Newscast, the father of Michael Brown Jr. comes to Missouri Western, what he wants the world to know about his son. That and more is coming up. The Griffon Newscast starts now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Price. On August 9th, 2014, Michael Brown Jr. was fatally shot by a police officer, sparking protests that made headlines across the nation. Now his father is traveling around the country, telling the world more about his son's story. Reporter Tanner Cobb was there for Brown's recent visit to Western and has more.
Michael Brown Sr. came to Missouri Western to speak about the truth of his son's death on September 27th at 7 p.m. Michael Brown Jr. was shot and killed by a white police officer in Ferguson, Missouri in August of 2014.
Basically just the truth, the cover-up of the loss of Mike Brown Jr. A lot of people around the world does not know the truth. They only know what the media showed them.
Michael Brown Sr. has a different outlook than most people in this situation, and he influenced many students in attendance.
I'm not a speaker. I'm a grieving father, so it's a difference. People are heartfelt by the words that come out of my mouth instead of me saying that I'm an actual speaker, because that's not my profession. You know, I just come out, I tell the truth, and I love on the people that invite me in.
So being from St. Louis, knowing the situation, it was very strong to hear from someone who had to experience it firsthand, those hardships. It was very, very powerful stuff.
Just to be humble, something that he said that no matter what you have, everything could be stripped in an instant. And so it brings humbleness to my position as well, because I realize that I won't be here forever.
Such an injustice is so hard for anyone just to wrap their head around, and having it hit so close to home, I feel his pain.
This is Tanner Cobb reporting for Griffon Media.
A pair of Missouri Western faculty represented the university at two separate conferences over the summer. Biology professor Dr. Tilatama Roy presented at the National Botany Conference in July, while mathematics professor Dr. Jeff Poet represented Missouri at the annual summer meeting of the Mathematical Association of America. Both professors spoke on the opportunity to represent Missouri Western.
The more you are sort of, you have all these resources, it just broadens your mind so you can go out there and do something good.
The state of Missouri is very well represented in the national organization. It's my privilege to represent my colleagues here at Missouri Western and also my colleagues across the state.
Students of both professors say they are lucky to work with them. Earlier this week, Western students got an up-close look at how the judicial system works. Rachel Bertram has more on the Missouri Court of Appeals meeting on campus.
The Missouri Western Court of Appeals Western District came to campus to help students better understand the legal process by running 3 cases on October 2nd, 2018 in Spratt 101. Students like Brittany Hubbard enjoyed coming out to participate in the appeals court.
Coming from the legal studies perspective, it's beneficial because we get to see the courts in action. It's a great opportunity to see how the court system works and kind of humanize judges.
There were 3 ruling judges on the panel: Chief Judge Karen King Mitchell, Appeals Judge Victor C. Howard, and Circuit Judge George E. Wolfe. Professor of Criminal Justice David Tusshouse believes that the appeals court is a worthwhile experience.
To me, it's important that the people understand how the courts work. Even though none of these cases this morning is necessarily a civil rights case, you can recognize that if I have a wrong between me and another person, I can take that to the courts.
This is Rachel Bertram reporting for Griffon Media.
SGA is now requiring that registered student organizations complete 5 hours of community service over the course of a year in order to receive funding. This is the first community service requirement that SGA has implemented for RSOs. SGA President Austin Hall says that the goal of the amendment is to better connect Missouri Western to the St. Joseph community. RSOs that received funding prior to the amendment passing will not be required to complete the hours for this year, but they will need to do them for the next academic year in order to receive next year's funding. That's what's making news on the campus of Missouri Western. To see updates on these stories and others, pick up a copy of the Griffon News or find us online at thegriffonnews.com. I'm Brittany Price, and that's your news in 5 minutes. Thanks for watching the Griffon Newscast.